today for language, we are doing page 62, but we are also going to be reviewing or talking about what's going to be on our quiz. Right, so the first thing I want to do is to look at the comma rules. So, eyes up here on the chart. Everyone's eyes on the chart. Alright, a long time ago we learned that you use a comma and a conjunction to correct a run-on sentence. Alright, none of that will be on the board. But we did learn after yes or no at the beginning of a sentence, you need to put a comma. You need a comma before and after the name of the person you are speaking to in a sentence. And we call that direct address. So when you're talking to somebody, do you put a comma just because you see someone's name?
No.
No, you need to be speaking to that person, not talking about them. Alright? And we learned this one last week on the end of the week on Friday, to separate words or groups of words in a series. So words in a series. We are learning a new one today, and that is to separate a city and a state. And we're going to say a little bit more than just to separate a city and a state, because there's a little bit more explanation than just that.
A name.
So, why are you talking out? Do not talk out. Okay, the first thing I want to do is put in commas, because you will have to insert commas in some sentences on the quiz. So be watching for the rules that we've been learning. Eyes up here. Let's look at the first sentence. Read it with me. Hannah, did you get a new puppy? All eyes up here, please. Lily, can you tell me, where would the comma go in that sentence? Hannah, did you get a new puppy? Why?
Because we're talking to
Very good. This is direct address. You are talking to Hannah. All right, read the second sentence with me. Yes, we got him last night. Landon, where would I put the comma?
after yes.
Very good. After the word yes, because we learned the rule after yes or no at the beginning of the sentence. All right, he is brown, tan, and white. Eric, can you tell me where one of those commas needs to go? He is brown, tan, and white. Brown, after brown. Can you tell me the rule? Do you remember the rule? Not yet? It's too new? Tess? Where's another one go? And can you remember the rule? All right, you know what to do. You just don't know what it's called. Jonathan, what's it called?
In a series of
Words in a series. Words in a series. So we did brown, comma, tan, comma, and do we need another one?
no.
No, because we learned that when you get to that word and,
Stop.
or, it could be the word or, it could be a choice, you're given a choice of items to choose from, then you stop. All right, let's read the next one. Now, everybody please read with me. Now my family has 1 dog, 3 fish, and 2 rabbits. Ben, where's the comma gonna go?
After dog.
After dog, very good. After dog. All right, Brennan. After fish. All right, Micah, do we need another one?
No.
No, because there's that word and. This is what they're talking about, groups of words. Words or groups of words in a series. Here it was just a word, brown, comma, tan, comma, and white. But now we have 1 dog, comma, 3 fish, comma, and we can stop putting them because we see that word and. All right, you will need to watch for that on your quiz. That is the kind of thing you have to do, all the different rules that we've learned. Now, there will also be another rule on the quiz, and that's the one we're going to learn. They said something about city and a state. But I don't want you just to learn it to separate a city and a state, because if you do that, you're going to forget a really important part of the rule. Whoops. We'll get those later. Don't worry about it. Just leave them. Thank you, but just leave them. Among us fine. My mug is fine. It's not broken, so it's fine. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time getting where you can see the sentences. All right. All right. There's still a glare on the board, but I can't do anything about the glare on the board. All right. So just listen carefully. All right. So the rule we're gonna learn is you separate a city and a state. Are you waiting? But you also put a comma after the state too if it doesn't come at the end of the sentence. Yes, you two will need to stand so you can see. So you're separating a city from a state with a comma. Please pay attention. And then you're putting a comma after the state too if it's not at the end of the sentence. So let's read that first sentence. Our family drove to Bangor, Maine. So, where are we going to put the comma, Paige?
After Bangor.
Yes, Bangor is a city, and you guys already know that Maine is a state, right? All right, next. Cheyenne, Wyoming is the state capital. Oh, I forgot about the state. Is this state at the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you need to put a comma after the state? No. Cheyenne, Wyoming is the state capital. This is the part you probably can't see too well, but I'll try to stand in front of it to keep the glare off of it. Cheyenne, Wyoming is the state capital. Grace. After Cheyenne. Cheyenne needs a comma. All right, now, is this state at the end of the sentence? No, so we need to put a comma after the state too because it's not at the end of the sentence. Don't like that one. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, next, read it with me. Ogden, Utah has beautiful mountains. All right, someone who has an answer. Abby. Ogden, very good. Never heard of that one myself. All right, is the state, which is Utah, is it at the end of the sentence? No. So what do we need to do? Put a comma after Utah also. Uncle Doug lives in Bixby, Oklahoma. Bixby, Oklahoma. Ben.
Put a comma after Bixby.
Yes, put a comma after Bixby. Now, is the state at the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So you do not need to put a comma after that, do you? Okay, the other thing that's going to be on your test, your quiz, besides putting commas in sentences just like what we've done up here, you will also need to rewrite some sentences, and we'll practice doing this tomorrow, and you'll have to correct everything, capitalization and punctuation in the sentences. So make sure you're paying attention when we do that tomorrow, because we will review that tomorrow. But let's look right now on page 62. Please listen carefully as we do these together. First of all, let's read the directions, or the rule. Not the directions, the rule. Use a comma to separate the name of a town or city from the name of a state. In a sentence, place a comma after the state too, unless it comes at the end of the sentence. And they actually have our sentence on their paper. Cheyenne, Wyoming is a state capital, don't they? And they have a comma to separate Cheyenne from Wyoming, and they have a comma after Wyoming too, because it wasn't at the end of the sentence. Then it says, have you ever been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming? This time Jackson Hole is the city, so the comma is after Jackson Hole, and then Wyoming is a state, and then Wyoming is at the end of the sentence, so there's no comma after it. Read the next thing. It says, no comma is needed if only the state is named. So if they don't put a city, you don't need a comma. Only when there's a city and a state do you need to put the comma. And they give you an example of that. Read it with me. Wyoming is a state with many beautiful mountains. All right, now let's do the section together. You're going to insert commas where they're needed. Read it with me. In Jackson Hole, Wyoming, there are 4 giant arches made of elk antlers. So where's the first comma gonna go?
After Jackson Hole.
After Jackson Hole. So after the word hole, insert a comma. Do not put the comma after Jackson. The name of the city is Jackson Hole. You put the comma after Jackson Hole. And then what do you need to do? Yes, you also need a comma after Wyoming because that state is not at the end of the sentence. All right, let's read the next one. A statue of Abraham Lincoln stands next to the highway near Laramie, Wyoming. Is Abraham a city and Lincoln a state? No. So please don't put a comma there. I've had students do that before. You do not put a comma just because you see two capitalized words. Abraham Lincoln is the name of a person. What is the name of the city in this sentence? Laramie. That is Laramie. So put a comma after Laramie. Do you need a comma after Wyoming?
No.
No, because it's at the end of the sentence. All right, read the next one. If you travel near Beaufort, Wyoming, you will see a tree growing out of a big rock. All right, so what's the city? Beaufort. When I have just said the word, you should not be pronouncing it wrong. Do you understand it? You just heard me say Beaufort. Please say it the way I said it. Thank you. All right, you need to separate Beaufort from Wyoming. Do you need one after Wyoming?
Yes.
Yes, you do, because it's not at the end of the sentence. Read the next one. In Cody, Wyoming, you might visit a museum that looks like an old frontier town. Where's the first comma going? After Cody. Cody is the name of the city. Is the state at the end of the sentence? No. So you also need a comma after Wyoming. Near Rock Springs, Wyoming, are some carvings made by the Native Americans. After Rock Springs, not after Rock, but after Rock Springs. Do you also need it after Wyoming?
Yes.
Do you need it to separate Native and Americans?
No.
No, because that's not a city and a state. And by the way, if you do not know, what can you do?
Ask me.
Yes, raise your hand and ask me, is this a city and is this a state? And I can tell you, yes, that's a city and that's a state. Or no, that's not a city and that's not a state. And I will tell you what it is. All right, moving on to the next section. Actually, that has to do with rewriting them sentences. So let's go to the last section first and then we'll go back. All right, it says try some other cities and states. Use proofreader marks to add the necessary commas. Jack and Julia live in Pensacola, Florida.
Between Pensacola.
Very good. Between Pensacola and Florida. And do you need another one after Florida?
No.
Very good. That's at the end of the sentence. So just separating Pensacola from Florida. You need to wake up. To separate the city from the state. Where's the city? Then put it between the city and the state. Stop daydreaming. Next sentence, read it with me. Battle Creek, Michigan is where breakfast cereal is made. Yes, after Creek in Battle Creek. The city is named Battle Creek, so it needs to be after the word creek. And why do you need it after Michigan too?
Because it's not the end of the sentence.
Yes, it's not the end of the sentence, so you need another one after Michigan. Do the next one with me. Did the Herrings move to Athens, Georgia?
After Athens.
Very good, after Athens. To separate Athens, the city, from Georgia, the state. Read the next one. We enjoyed the fair in Tulsa, Oklahoma last October.
Before and after Oklahoma.
Okay, after what? Tulsa, which is the city. And after Oklahoma, because it's not at the end of the sentence. One more. Let's drive to Baton Rouge, Louisiana this weekend.
After Rouge.
Baton Rouge. After the word rouge in Baton Rouge.
And then after
And after Louisiana because it's not at the end of the sentence. Alright, now let's look at that middle section where you're rewriting the whole entire sentence. Abraham Lincoln was born in Hodgensville, Kentucky. So you need to capitalize as you rewrite it, everything that should be capitalized. So should Abraham Lincoln have been capitalized?
Yes.
Yes. Hodgensville?
Yes.
Yes. Kentucky?
Yes.
And what did you need to do between Hodgensville and Kentucky?
Put a
Put
comma.
a comma. Do you need your insert marks this time? No, because you are rewriting the whole entire sentence correctly. Alright, the next one says, we saw a beautiful sunset in Green River, Wyoming. What's the name of the city there? Hello? Green River, thank you. So you need to put a comma after Green River. And make sure you capitalize both words in the name of that city, Green and River. And don't forget to capitalize the beginning of your sentence too. And don't forget your ending punctuation.